Good evening, Otherworldlies. This is Juliana Angel, your Dark Mask Diva. How's everyone feeling after the holidays, after Christmas, before New Year's? Is anyone else feeling just kind of weird, just kind of disoriented? I mean, I just feel like nothing but drowsy. But I had a wonderful Christmas. I also got to go to the Machine Head concert. That was just awesome. I had the absolute time of my life. And I had a wonderful Christmas with Sensational Delights. We just had kind of like a lazy day, and we ordered in, and we just had a wonderful time. So I'm just having the best Christmas. And these days between like the Christmas holidays and New Year's, they're just these weird days, these weird floaty days where you just feel kind of disoriented and weird and just kind of whoa, I don't know if anyone else is feeling that kind of way, but it's not like a bad feeling, it's just kind of a weird feeling. I don't know if you guys are feeling that way too, but if you are, please comment down below. Anyway, I'd like to hear about it. So I'd also like to talk about something else tonight, and it's something called cognitive dissonance. All right, this is something also known as a trauma bond. This is a phenomenon that occurs when you have somebody in your life who is creating a sense of confusion, okay? This is somebody who, you might have somebody in your life who's kind of toxic, okay? So you have this person who, they're kind of messing with your mind, okay? Because on one hand, they're being really nice. They're doing really nice things for you, like, they might be doing you favors, they might be buying you things, they might be feeding you, they might be doing nice things for you, doing favors for you, but on the other hand, they're doing all these really weird, toxic things. So they're creating this push-pull, and meanwhile, you're developing kind of like this attachment to them. But then they're turning around and doing all these toxic things like making you doubt yourself, or they're insulting you, or they're just kind of messing with you, okay? They're doing bozo stuff, okay? So they're kind of making you attached to them, but they're kind of messing with you at the same time. Okay, so this is kind of what bozos do, all right? They kind of slither into your life like a snake, and they kind of find out what's missing in your life. So then they try to give you that thing that's missing in your life, all right? They're like, what does this person have missing? So they provide it for you. And then they do the little things to mess with you, okay, to be toxic. Okay, so and they're just bozos because they're losers, so they just do little messed up things, and mostly the bozo's MO is mostly just to try to control you and try to eat away at your self-esteem. All right, and they do this because they have control issues. Okay, that's mainly the bozo's problem, is they are riddled with anxiety and they have control issues, and they know they really shouldn't be in your life. All right, that's the problem with the bozos, is they know they shouldn't be in your life, and they know you're too good for them, and they know they should just, skedaddle, and they don't belong around you, and that sort of thing. So they try to give you something that you need, so you feel like you need them. Okay, but they do other things to kind of try to tear down your self-esteem at the same time. All right, so you don't realize you're too good for them and get away from them. All right, so they're messing with you. They're creating, but at the same time, they're kind of feeding something in you that's missing. All right, so you're growing an attachment to them. All right, they're creating this cognitive dissonance. They're creating a trauma bond with you. All right. So here's this thing that I created. It's called Bozo Hangman. All right. So here's the thing. It doesn't really matter what good thing they're doing. It doesn't matter that they're buying you things. It doesn't matter that they're feeding you. It doesn't matter that they're spending a lot of time with you. In fact, It's really a bad thing that they're spending time with you, because what they're doing is they're walking you everywhere and they're hovering around you all the time, and they're trying to block you from blessings. Okay, that's why they're hanging around you and they're taking up all your time. They're trying to block you from blessings. They're trying to keep you away from other people. Okay, and they're trying to block you from opportunities. And like I said, if you have pretty privilege, they're trying to block you from the privilege, because they're trying to keep other people away from you. Okay, they're trying to keep you away from job opportunities, education, and other things. They're trying to keep you away from other people who can do better things for you than they can. And they know that they're keeping other people away from you. Okay, and they're trying to fill your head full of garbage that's not true, and they're basically trying to brainwash you, and they're trying to mess with you and stuff like that. So, but they're trying to say nice things to you to make you feel good, and then say other things to tear you down. So, and bozos, they will end up telling on themselves. They will end up saying weird things, and you're like, whoa, that was a bozo move. They said something really weird. So, and then they'll turn around and say something good again, to kind of balance it back out. So you're like, oh, okay. So that kind of almost makes it all better. Like, oh, they kind of just apologize there or something. So here's the thing that you do. When you're figuring out that your bozo is a bozo, and you will have moments of clarity where this person is bozo, okay? I mean, because you're intelligent, right? You know there's something wrong here. You can kind of like see it. You know this person is mentally sick. This person gives you like kind of an icky feeling inside. This person is bozo, and things are kind of not going right because this person is hanging around you. There's some kind of like, you can kind of see their mask slip every once in a while, and you're like, whoa, I don't mean their COVID mask. I mean their mask. You know what I mean? It's kind of like every once in a while you look at them and go, whoa, there's something really wrong with this person. You can kind of see it, right? Every once in a while you can kind of see through them and see that they're kind of trying to ruin your good time, that they're jealous every time something good happens to you, that they just kind of get mad when something goes right for you, and they just kind of what they said to you just now was just a little bit too messed up, and you're like, where did that weird thing come from? Like, what they said just now is really messed up. Like, that kind of, they kind of went left just now. Like, what was that? You're kind of like getting, you start to notice something a little weird is there. Okay, you need to start doing this thing called keeping score. Okay? All right. This is called Bozo Hangman. You write the bozo's name down. Now, I used to have a bozo in my life named Henry. He's not in my life anymore. Okay, so I wrote his name down on a piece of paper. Okay, this is what happens. This is Bozo Hangman. There doesn't need to be like a word under his name. You just need to write down the bozo's name. Okay, so it doesn't matter if Henry does good things. Okay, so you don't need to write down the good things Henry does, because it does not matter. Okay, you just every time Henry does something bad, does a bozo move, you cross out a letter of his name. All right, so I'm going to start. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about stuff Henry is. All right, so I decide that I don't want to hang out with Henry anymore, because Henry's just being weird and he's not respecting my boundaries. And I'm like, Henry, you need to get out of my personal space. And he won't get out of my personal space, and I have to tell him once, get out of my personal space, Henry, and he won't. So he keeps coming up behind me, and I'm like, Henry, you need to get out of my personal space. And he doesn't want to listen, right? So I start getting really annoyed, and he starts acting really hurt that I have to tell him to get out of my personal space. Okay, so and he acts like butthurt about it, right? And he starts going, ooh, and making the face, right? Okay, so we talked about the bozos pulling the faces, and he's acting all butthurt about it, but meanwhile he's the person making me uncomfortable. Okay, so I'm crossing out a letter in his name. Okay, see what I did there? Okay. So I did the like little noose thingy, right? I crossed out the letter in his name. See what I did there? All right. So So, Henry's being a dork and everything like that. He's coming up behind me, doing crazy things, and so he kind of goes back to his seat or whatever. I'm at work. I'm trying to work, trying to pay attention to what I'm doing. He comes up and bothers me again, and so how have you been? Blah, blah, blah. He keeps, trying to bother me, and I'm like, I really need to pay attention to what I'm doing. I'm like, trying to work and everything like that. He's talking, and he's drinking his coffee. He's bothering me. I'm still trying to work. He keeps talking to me and stuff like that. And I wish he would just go away. So I'm trying to ignore him and everything like that. He still won't go away. He's in my space again. I'm like, see what I'm doing here? So then he goes, you look really nice today. Okay, so that's a compliment, right? Okay. Now notice there's 2 letters crossed off on his name. And there's like his head and his spine drawn. Okay. So I'm like, okay, thank you. And don't acknowledge it and everything. So I'm still trying to work and everything like that. But he goes, but what did you do to your hair? For some reason, he doesn't like what I did to my hair. I either cut it or colored it. He didn't like it. Henry, you're really on thin ice, Henry. Okay. So he walks around and just goes around and keeps walking around the room and keeps talking, and I'm really just trying to work, right? I wish he would just go back to his cubicle and leave me alone. Okay, because I really would like to get some work done. So I'm like, okay, so this is serious business. So Henry continues to bother me. And he's, drinking his coffee and everything like that. And he walks around and starts talking about his weekend. I don't want to hear about it. All right. So then he goes, are you seeing anyone? So I decide to lie and say yes. And he keeps talking. And then he goes, was I a bad boyfriend? And I said, now meanwhile, I already told him the reason that I didn't want to see him anymore. It's because he wouldn't stay out of my personal space, and he wouldn't leave me alone. Meanwhile, he's doing the same thing. The whole reason I broke up with him in the first place, he wouldn't stay out of my space. Right? And so then he decides to leave the room because he didn't like what I just told him. So then I decide to log off the computer and go work somewhere else. So he leaves the room, I log off the computer, and I leave the room. And I slip out the door. I decide to go take a break, go somewhere else and get on the computer and finish, in another department and finish my work. I leave. He starts following me outside. Okay, you see what just happened? Okay. Henry is through. All right. Some people might consider that one incident. Okay. That's 5 different things that he did. Right? That's 5 different things. Okay. So, maybe the glasses are better. I can see better with them on. So, if he did 5 things, see, one person might consider that he's just bugging me doing one thing. That's 5 different things that he did. So, after that, I should go complain about him to somebody, right? I shouldn't just let that go. He did 5 things. I shouldn't just go, oh, Henry was just annoying me today. He did 5 things. So I ticked 5 things off the list. I wrote his name down, and he did 5 different things. Okay, I think if we are not paying attention, we let things that bozos do just slide, because they do many little infractions and we just let them go. Okay, they do, like, when bozos do things, they do little things that are just annoying, and they do subtle little things that are annoying. All right, and they come up and bug us, and they come up and say and do weird little things, like they insult us, and they do things that annoy us, and they just do stupid things. Okay, so and you can just say that was just one incident where he was just coming up and annoying me. No, he came up and did several things. Okay, he came up and asked a personal question. He came up and did something I didn't like. He was coming up behind me and touching me and getting in my space, and I told him that's why I didn't want to see him anymore, because he was doing things like that. He asked me if I was seeing someone else. I was honest. Yeah, I was. That particular guy didn't get in my space and do annoying crap. He didn't like the answer, so he left the room. Good. Okay. But he did all these things. He insulted me. He didn't need to do that. He was bothering me while I was trying to work. I couldn't work with him there. I had to get up and go somewhere else. And, find another place to log in and finish my work, because he wouldn't leave me alone. Right? So, that was bad. But he did 5 different things, all within 10-15 minutes. But that's Bozo Hangman. I had to tick off 5 different things that he did. Okay? So, I think if we are not paying attention, we miss the little things that the bozos do. And they will do one little thing right after another, and I think we let it slide. All right? And I can come back and do more Bozo Hangman, and we're not paying attention, because I think we let the bozos do so many annoying things for such a long time, we don't notice the stuff that they did. And I think after we realize that we're done dealing with the bozos, they'll still do stuff. They'll do worse stuff than, and after we know we're done dealing with them, I think we'll become more aware of it. If you play Bozo Hangman, you'll notice that they will do one thing after another when you realize you're done dealing with them. And I know this looks like a funny game, but just do it. When you realize you're done with somebody's crap, just write their name down and notice they're going to do one messed up thing after another. And whatever they've done in the past that might make you miss them or miss the good times or whatever, just notice they will do one infraction after another. Play Bozo Hangman and notice the messed up stuff they do. No lie. No lie. You'll really be surprised. you'll be surprised that you were not being unreasonable. They really were just really being completely stupid. So, this has been Juliana Angel, your Dark Mask Diva, and I hope that this has helped in some kind of funny way, helped you gain some awareness, helped you notice what they do. Sometimes when you write things down, it kind of it helps gain insight. So just play the little Bozo Hangman game, and when you're done maybe they have longer names, but when you start crossing those letters off and drawing the little stick figure, maybe they have longer names, so you draw the little eyes, the nose, the mouth, and their hair and stuff like that. But after you start crossing off the letters, you're going to go, this person really is toxic, they're really creepy, they're really a jerk. And you're going to be like, wow. Now that I'm crossing off the letters of their name and drawing the little stick figure, I was not imagining it. They really are annoying. You'll see. So, I hope you've enjoyed our little exercise, our little game, and I will see you in the next content. I love you all. Good night.